You've heard it your whole life. You need money to make money. And for a lot of people, that one sentence has kept them from starting. But what if I told you that the most well-funded businesses in this country were built using capital that the founder never actually paid back, never traded equity for? I'm not talking about winning the lottery or finding a rich investor or asking your rich uncle. I'm talking about real, documented, accessible funding sources that most entrepreneurs walk right by because nobody told them about them. They didn't know that this option was available. And nobody actually ever showed them the door, what's behind the door. So today I'm going to show you the door because that's exactly why I started this channel to talk about everything funding, financial literacy, business, because everybody tells you where to get funding, but nobody tells you what to do before you get there, the preparation that it entails. And that's one of the biggest reasons a lot of people are getting denied. So if you find the information on this channel, then do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button so that I can continue to make more free courses and trainings just like this one. And drop it in the comments. What is the number one thing that you feel like's been stopping you from getting where you need to be in your business? Is it money? Is it knowledge? Is it fear? I mean, trust me, I've been there and I read every single comment. So let me know, drop it in the comments, and make sure that you subscribe for that real business education, not motivation, not hype, real facts, real strategy. So hit that bell so you don't ever miss when we drop new videos. First, let's be clear about what free actually means in business funding. Because I mean, what really is free? You're going to pay a cost, right? If it's not financial, you're going to pay it in time, energy. So what is it? Free does not mean zero effort. Basically, free means no equity loss. You don't have a lender calling you every month waiting for a payment. Some of these strategies take work to access. Okay, it's not an overnight process. Some of them require you to meet specific eligibility requirements, but the capital itself, you can keep it. It's yours. You don't have to pay it back. That's as close to free money as you can get in the real world. And it's completely legitimate. So let's talk about what's available to you right now. You can get a personal loan, you can get a business loan, but again, those have certain specific criteria. If you are seeking a business loan, you need to have business bank statements, matching information across the board. You need to be a registered entity. If you're looking for a personal loan, you need to have good personal credit, payment history. So a lot of different factors go into the type of financing that you're looking for. If you're looking for asset-based lending, you need to have an asset, some type of collateral or inventory, real estate. So if you don't have any of those things, well, then what do you do? Well, there's a lot of real great tools out there. So the first one we're going to talk about is grants, essentially free money. But remember, you're going to pay in some form or another. So it's either going to be time, energy. What is the cost that you're paying when you're filling out grants? Grants take time. There's a ton of grants out there. Visit grants.gov in order to see which ones are going to apply to you. This is the federal database for grants, and you can create a free account, set up keywords for your industry. So you can filter by small business. Not every grant on there is for general startup costs. There are grants for women, single moms, if you're a certain demographic or ethnicity. If you're in agriculture, social services, financial, whatever it is, there are grants available to you. Billions of dollars get handed out in grants every single year. And we're going to delve into a couple of those places that you can go. So let me show ahead and share my screen with you. This is grants.gov, and you can go on here and you can find the different types of grants that you are looking for. The second one that you can go to is Grant Watch. Grant Watch aggregates all of the state, local, and private grants. You can look at it in one clear database. You can filter it by industry and then also demographics. So women-owned, minority-owned, veteran-owned, and this is a really practical grant tool available to you. It's even got some AI grant writing tools, but don't let AI take over, please. Everybody's becoming too reliant on the AI and they're losing their own voice. Remember, AI is not perfect. It cannot take the place of you, and it doesn't know your business. So use it as a way to maybe clean up grammar, fix the way that you're writing, but don't let it actually write it for you. Another one you can go to is Hello Alice. Some of you might even be familiar with Hello Alice, specifically built for small business owners, underrepresented founders as well. So they have a ton of ongoing grant programs, and they can connect you to a lot of opportunities. They can find a lot of great resources here. If you sign up for the newsletter, they'll send you any type of new grants that come out as well. Then you've also got I Fund Women. One application here, guys, will get you into a pool of active grants from multiple partners that they're aligned with. So this one, I Fund Women, is specifically designed for female entrepreneurs, super popular. If you are a woman in business, make sure that you are connecting with them. And there's also the Amber Grant Foundation. They're constantly giving away. Check it out. They just gave away $30,000 in grant money. And it says right here, how do you apply for a grant? And these are all of the recipients. Look at that. I mean, they're just giving away 10,000, 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. February, March, April, May. And I believe the way that they do it is there's like a different industry that they work with every single month. So you'll go in here and you'll do your research. But I think it's like on certain months they are giving out grants to like women in the beauty industry and other hospitality industry. Another option that you could go to is the Tory Burch Foundation, which offers capital programs, fellowships, business education as well, but specifically for female entrepreneurs. Definitely worth bookmarking. There's a lot of resources for women entrepreneurs. I don't understand when I hear people constantly being like, there's nothing for women in business, there's nothing for Black-owned businesses, there's nothing for guys. There's a ton. There's a ton. They have created so many resources, but here's the thing, it's hard. Like, I get it. It's hard to figure out how do I fill out this grant application? How do I pull all these documents together? I don't have my vision aligned. I don't have my value proposition. It can get difficult. So if you need help writing, your grants out, there's a lot of people who specialize in this area. They're grant writers. You can connect with your local SBA. You can connect with your local SBDC, Small Business Development Center, and they have people who will work with you to get some of these grants, okay? Because this is not something that we do at Build a Business Method. We focus most solely on business loans, personal loans, asset-based lending, but grants are a really great way to get free money. And I actually remember I won a competition and it was 14,000 and I got flown out to Detroit and I got to speak on stage and I got a whole bunch of free marketing material. And this was in the form of a grant, guys. So there's a lot of really great opportunities. This was like a $14,000 package. You just have to look for the resources, get out there, get in certain groups, and I actually found that group through a program called the Happy Neighborhood Project. Check it out. Get involved in your local community. Okay. The next one that I want you to look at is the FedEx Small Business Grant. This is an annual grant competition. Typically prizes of 50, 30, 15,000. You need to have a business plan. You need to have a compelling story. This one is a lot more competitive, just to be straight up with you. But the award sizes here are real. Guys, a lot of people out here, they want to work with you. They want to help you grow. Bombi was a $50,000 grant recipient, $20,000 grant recipient. If you take yourself out of the running by saying, well, the money's just not available to me, you're literally projecting that in your life. What we speak comes true. So if you're saying there's no money, it's not available to me, well, you're basically just shutting yourself out. And then, of course, the granddaddy, SBA.gov. Small Business Administration doesn't just do loans, guys. They connect you. They're connecting business owners to grant programs, state level resources. If you're in innovation, agriculture, there are federal programs. If you're a woman, if you're a minority, President Trump is doing a ton of things for small businesses. He's a businessman, so he believes in capitalism. So if you are a small business owner, you need to be connecting with the SBA. Now, I will say that the SBA in the past 12 months, they made a lot of changes to their requirements. So don't try to get an SBA loan on your own. You want to make sure that you're connecting with the right resources. Which of these grant resources do you think you're going to look up this week? I want you to drop it in the comments because accountability is actually how we are going to get things done. So those are all the grant programs that you can take a look at, look into. Now, there's a ton more, but those are the major ones that I wanted to step into. Now, the second thing we're going to talk about are microloans. And you can get microloans at various places, but microloans are typically under $50,000. They're designed for startups, early stage businesses that don't qualify for traditional bank financing yet. Some of these can be at or near 0% interest, but it really depends. So the first one we're going to look at is Kiva. If any of these are familiar to you, drop it in the comments. Kiva offers 0% interest microloans up to $15,000 for US-based small business owners. So 0%, no interest. You can apply, your campaign will go live on a crowdfunding platform, and then your community can fund it. This is a really underused tool here, but this also requires a lot of work. You're going to set up a personal profile, and then you're going to promote yourself, what the money is going to be used for, and then people will donate. The next one we're going to be looking at is Axion. And you might have heard of Axion Opportunity Fund. This is actually one of the largest nonprofit small business lenders in the country. They specifically serve underserved businesses, people that can't get traditional banking, women, people of color, low income, moderate income founders. The next thing we're going to look at is the SBA microloan program, because SBA has a microloan program as well, up to $50,000 through their approved intermediary lenders. So average loan size can actually be around 13,000. Lower rates than many of the other alternative funders, because when you go into alternative financing and you start to work with some of those alternative lenders, you're going to get a higher interest rate. You don't want to go too high. These type of microloans are great for startups. So if you need working capital, inventory, equipment, supplies, then connect with your SBA. Then the last one I want to talk about are CDFIs. These are community development financial institutions. They have these everywhere, everywhere. You can find these at cdfi.gov. These are mission-driven lenders. Okay, they really want to serve communities that traditional banks underserve. We're talking about lower credit requirements, flexible terms. More often, these are typically paired with like business education, some type of coaching as well. So if you're a veteran, a minority, a woman, or if you're building in a low income area, then a CDFI could work for your situation as well. So those are microloans. We cover grants, we cover microloans, and the last thing we're going to talk about today is 0% interest credit. This is one that most people sleep on if they can qualify, or most people are rushing to get through when they don't qualify. So this is where it gets super interesting, because if you've been watching this channel, like I said, you already know this. There's no fluff here. Okay, there's no fluff. We got to be really straight up. If you don't have a 700 credit score, you're not going to get this type of financing. There was a time where you could have a 680, 650 and get kind of squeezed through. 680, I can see some a little bit. I don't see it as much, but 680, I can see if if you're hitting all the other factors, right? Your utilization is low, you've got good payment history, but your need is 700, especially with the way that the landscape is now. Now, there's a tool out there called credit card stacking. Okay, so you can get approved for multiple different business cards simultaneously at a 0% interest rates. We're talking like 16 to 18 months, and you can get 50,000, 100,000, 150,000 or more. Most people don't get more than that. I actually got one of my clients more than that, but most people don't get more than that. Before a brand new business with no revenue, this one is based on your personal credit. If your personal credit is 680 or above, you could be looking at this. Remember, 680 with hitting all the factors. You could be looking at this. And if it's not there yet, don't apply. Okay. All you're going to do is upset yourself. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to hit a wall, because this type of funding is great. It's available. You can use it for startup costs, for marketing, for supplies. You can use it for all kinds of things. You can use it for real estate if you're flipping houses as well. One thing that you need to keep in mind is if you don't qualify, you cannot just apply based on a hope and a dream. I've seen clients, yes, use this to cover it to hire employees. They can use it to run their ad. They pay off high interest debt and they replace it with the 0% interest funding. There's so many great ways to use this, and I encourage you to strive for this. But if you don't have it right now, don't rush it. Okay, just pause and try to fix some of these things on your credit reports so that you can get to that point. Or you can build your business credit and work your way up to that point through the tiers. Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, Tier 4. And then when you get to Tier 4, you can do business credit cards. But remember, this is not the end game. Okay, 0% interest funding is not the end game. It is just a tool, just like business credit. Your end game is to get larger types of financing, right? SBA loans, term loans, lines of credit, things that you can use to scale and expand. So if you want to get to that type of financing, then you need to make sure that your foundation is solid first. And once you get to that type of financing with good credit, with business credit, the opportunities, the options that you have are truly unlimited. And it's not a trick, that is just strategy. Now, have you ever heard of credit card stacking? Have you ever heard of something called a credit line hybrid? If you have heard of it, drop it in the comments. I'm just curious to know how many people know about this and how much this is brand new information. The last thing we're going to talk about is crowdfunding. Basically, like, let the market fund your idea. If you have a product with a compelling story, then you can crowdfund. You can let the community help you raise the money to do this, which actually there was a hair company that came to us for financing that raised almost $100,000 off of one of these platforms. It was a black lady, and she created a hair tool for your hair to like wrap your hair in. These type of things you can start on like Kickstarter, Indiegogo, and you're basically offering like exclusive access. They get access to like some of the products that you're selling as well. So if you're comfortable giving up a percentage of your company, then that's where you will go with those type of platforms. And the very, very, very last one that everybody sleeps on is business credit. And we kind of touched on it, but building business credit is essentially having an asset that funds itself. You're thinking of the long game here when we're talking about business credit. Because when your business has its own established profile, its own Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, Experian business profile, now you can access that vendor credit we were talking about. You can get equipment financing, fleet cards. This means you can use that for your gas when you're traveling. You don't have to come out of pocket. You don't have to take from your cash flow. You can use your business. And remember, cash flow is king. So if you have another alternative then for the business to fund itself, look into it, okay? Because you're not personally on the hook when you're using business credit strategy. And remember, it starts with your DUNS. Go to DNB. It starts with the starter vendors, Uline, Granger, Quill. It starts with those vendors that report the payments, and then that compounds over time. And as you keep your profile clean, those businesses will continue to offer you additional funding. And this is wise because they just built an asset that works for them. And that's it for today, guys. So here's the thing that I need you to understand. None of this is about luck or who you know or where you come from. Now, does it help to know certain people? You know that it does, yes. But this is really about strategy, preparation, knowledge, accountability, and then just taking the steps to fix those things so you can get to the solution. It doesn't matter where you start, it just matters where you end up. It matters about where you're going, knowing what's available, and then having a strategy before you apply. Most entrepreneurs are applying blind. They just pick something, they hear about something, and they go for it. They're throwing an application in, and then they come back frustrated, denied, overwhelmed, and then they're rushing to make that decision. Essentially, they just give up. And that's not strategy, that's hope. And I don't want you to give up. That's why I created this channel so that you have all these free resources, because now is the time. Having your own business is a truly great way to get your independence, to create financial stability for yourself, for your family. You don't have to have a business and let the business run you. You can run the business and make it scale and build your business the right way into something that you can truly be proud of. What is the one funding source that we talked about in this video that you're going to go looking into today? What's one that you didn't even know about? Let me know so I can hear what resonated with you the most, because that's why I built this channel. That's why I built the Build a Business method, exactly for this reason, because I was tired of seeing all of the denials. And I knew it would come down to one thing: foundation, information, knowledge. The information is out there. The funding exists. Lenders want to work with you. There's just a gap in between how prepared businesses are before they get to the lender. So we are closing that gap on this channel. And if you're with me, I need you subscribing, because that allows me to make more free courses and trainings just like this one. The links are below in the descriptions. If you feel like you're ready to get started, then go ahead and apply at buildabusinessmethod.com. And if you want to speak with an advisor, you can also schedule your funding review at that link as well. If you need some additional resources to get started, go ahead and grab the checklist, okay, the Build a Business checklist. This has all of the steps that you need to get going. And then you can also head on over and get your playbook, where it really breaks down full funding strategy and how you can increase your opportunities, map out exactly what you need to do next. No guesswork, no wasted applications, just a real plan. All right, guys, that's it for today. And if you found this information helpful, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.